The challenges facing our teens today mean that more than ever, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. The DrStem Show is here to provide discussions about topics that will help promote healthy relationships, self-image, and success for teens, parents, and the community. Our young people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. The DrStem Show, hosted by Dr. Stem Malatini, will foster these discussions and encourage your participation.
There's a song, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. Have you ever wanted to meet a celebrity in your area? You know what, I was thinking about it this morning and thought sometimes we wait for celebrities to come on TV and we always believe that they're in Hollywood alone. Not so. I have a celebrity today with me on the show. To me, he's a celebrity, and you'll find out why I'm calling this young man, Brian Castellanos, a celebrity. Welcome to the DrStem Show, and welcome, Brian.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stem, for having me on your show today. I just almost teared up just hearing those words because this is a meaningful experience. Yes. Like many experiences in my life, I cherish my moments. And I appreciate the day, and I thank you so much for having me here.
You know, the honor and the privilege is all ours to have you on the show because you know what, we all have a story to tell, and some people never take the time to learn from those stories or to grow from those stories. And the reason why I call you a celebrity is because last week, pre-show, we went out to eat at our local IHOP in Salem, Massachusetts. And you talk about people coming to this young man and tearing up, crying with joy and pride as to how much you've grown and what you have done with your life. So today I come to this show to congratulate you on the work that you have done and for you to have an opportunity to tell the world how you've become who you are and who you know and where you're going with your life. So to start off, I'm going to ask you, who is Brian Castellanos?
Well, to start off, my name is Brian Castellanos. I grew up in Lynn, Mass. I moved to Beverly for a few years, and then I moved back to Lynn during my high school years. Basically, you know, what I'm about is, when people ask me what, through my college experience, it's like, what do you want to do after school? What do you want to do? And my new answer is, I want to change the world. I want to change the world. I want to make a difference. And the way I approach this heavy task is I create a list of goals, and I develop a sense of integrity and a sense of willingness to sacrifice myself to better other people's lives and to really benefit every experience, and to really interact with everybody in life that that don't have the best self-esteem, don't have the best of resources, the people who are just discouraged to really attack their dreams. And that's what it is, because early on in my life, I was very discouraged. I never knew that I could be here today and to talk about all the things I'm doing. I never knew I could do that. And there's a lot of people out there in this world, in this country, that just need a little spark. They need something, just a little bit of a spark to let them win the day. I was able to face very, very defining moments in my life that really tested my character a lot. And throughout my life, I suffered some great hardships, like many of us in this world, in this country, face every day. And my mother abandoned me. I had a stepmother that abandoned me my freshman year of high school. I had my biological mother passed away at an early age as well. And I was very sensitive at the time. I didn't know how to handle those experiences as a young adult, a young student. I was a student athlete as well. The only answer I had was to go to football practice and to basically participate in sports, because that's all I knew. And academics was more of a weak point to me. And I really had confidence at the time.
Yeah.
I lacked confidence in school, and I was unable to really execute any school objective because I had so much stuff on my mind. And the only thing I ever wanted to do was go to football practice to let it out. The lack of communication wasn't there. I didn't have that skill set that I have now today. Yes. And during my senior year of high school, I faced another hardship, which was the loss of my brother. He passed away from lymphoma cancer, and that was a big moment for me because I viewed the episode of him passing away. He passed away in a hospice. This was my older brother. He meant a lot to me. He was one of my mentors, one of my protectors, especially because I was one of my protectors. Yeah. And I love my family. I love my brothers. I love my father, my sisters. But my brother, his name was Brian Castellanos. He meant a lot to me. You know, I always looked up to him. And the moment when I got the phone call to come to the hospice, and I had to go watch him pass away, and it was very devastating for me, especially for me to watch my family go through it as well. It left a permanent footprint in my life. Yeah. It was the moment when he was taking his last breath. It was something I'm never gonna forget. I was on his leg. And every breath was just, you don't know which one. It was similar to a horror story. I couldn't believe this was going on. That moment came when he took his last breath, and I watched my father watch one of his sons take his last breath on this earth, and I watched my father break down. I watched my older brother pick him up and tell him that he loved him, and I sat there the whole time, and as I embraced this process, I stuck with him. And it was very explicit. And this, for me, you have to understand that I'm already an at-risk youth because I'm coming from a low-income family. I'm coming from different circumstances that I personally never let it affect me. And the moment when we put my brother in the ground, I made it. I made it a mission of mine to change my life. Yeah. Because to come here today and express that it's a different taste. Yes. And that's why when I go in life and to any venture I go into, I apply this aggressive, motivated attitude, along with a laundry list of tools that I've learned to develop through every experience that I've went through and every hardship I faced. Yeah. Because for every hardship, there's always good moments. Yeah. And I've learned to appreciate small things. And the more I grow and the more I transform myself, the more I'm able to really to project what I'm all about.
Yeah. Wow. Now you see why I told you he's a celebrity in his own. Thank you for sharing those stories with us, Brian. As you're talking, I'm thinking to myself that at-risk youth is a term that is used a lot for those kids that are troubled, the ones that are quote-unquote defiant, that don't want to go to school, that don't want to listen to anyone. And what you've just shared to us is it's not because they want to be defiant sometimes, and just sometimes there's so much that is going on in their family, in their lives, that drives them to be who they are. What helped you with the grief when you were in high school? By the way, where'd you go to high school?
Well, I went to Lynn English High School, so I'm a bulldog. And I take a lot of pride in that. Yep. It's one of that school basically transformed me. I've learned a lot. I've had good and bad times at that school, and the people there, especially the teachers and the guidance counselors, the principal, everybody had a major part in my success, and I always give credit. Coaches. Yes. Especially I have a guidance counselor named Nicole Passanisi. She's been an angel for me. I have Thomas Strange. He's the principal right now. Before that was Andrew Filer. Yes. And everyone played a major role. Yes. Everyone, all my coaches. I got a laundry list of people I can just give a shout out. I can spend this whole show just shouting out everybody who's helped me.
Hey, Lynn English High.
I definitely when I was at my lowest point, those people really were there to be pillars for me to stand up, and they never really gave up on me, and that's what it is. It's about having people in your life, resources that are gonna believe in you and give you the confidence to really succeed. Yes. And I feel like the relationships you build in your life, you can't take for granted what people do for you. And I think appreciation and really learning from people who are in the field and people who are at a certain level in life.
Yes.
That's a success to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, the way I went through it, the way I got through that was to really pay attention and have effective listening skills. I listened, and that's what I did.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at Mom's picture. Your mom passed away. There's some children today whose mothers are here alive, and they're not listening to their parents. They're not paying, giving them the respect that they need. What can you tell those young people out there about the importance of having a parent and listening to what their parent is saying to them?
To start off, some people, some youth, some teens are just not ready to listen.
Yeah.
It takes learning experiences to realize what you have. For me, I've always had situations where my mother passed away, and then I had a stepmother to kind of be there to support me, and then she abandoned me. So it was really hard for me. And growing up, my father was working a lot, and he was very busy. So I was always basically parenting myself. So I would go out and have to look for coaches as that parental figure. So I had to go out and look for my own role models and the importance of having parents. And if you have parents involved in your life, you need to grasp what they're saying to you. You need to be able to facilitate what they want for you. Because if you're not going to listen to them, sometimes it's going to take you to a path that can't take you. You're not going to be able to really save yourself.
Yes. You know what? That's great. Let's stay on that path. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We're talking to Brian Castellanos today, who's sharing with us his life experience and what has shaped him to be the celebrity that he is for us today. We'll be right back. We are talking to Brian Castellanos, who is not only talking to us today about how to be a successful student in high school, but you know what, from what I'm learning today, it's also how to be successful in life, in everything that you do in life. Before we went on break, he was telling us about how he was able to go through high school after losing his mother and his beloved brother and some other relatives at the same time while he was still in high school. And the key word that he was talking about when we went on break was support. Talk to us about finding the right support and utilizing the support around you.
Oh, well, let me explain something. There are winners, there are losers, and there are yet people who discover how to win. When I went through those hardships, I yet to learn how to win. I had to really dig deep, and I went off on my own, and I reached out to coaches. I reached out to anybody who would listen to me, and because I had a voice and I was hurt, and I didn't know how to express myself. So in order for me to go through the process, and any kind of coping process, it takes support. Having a solid support system is going to allow you to really execute the healthy way of handling any kind of hardship you go through. And the moments where I remember when I was in high school, I had a resource officer. His name was Gregory Brelton. He was not only there for me when I needed him, but he was there when I didn't even know I needed him, because he was also a coach, and he always was consistent because I opened up to him. And that's hard because people, especially teens, nowadays I understand, like, nobody wants to open up, because I was one of those kids. I was a closed circuit kid. I wanted to express myself in that kind of realm because I was kind of embarrassed. I wasn't the one to make a scene. I wasn't very dramatic. And I carried a lot on my shoulders. And it was those individuals who noticed me. And, it's all about giving people a chance to help you. You got to be willing to embrace the help and not be too shy to know that, hey, there are people out there that are going through similar situations. And everyone has a story. It's all about helping each other out. And to navigate a solid, to find a support system, you have to be willing to help yourself. You have to accept that, you know what, I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. I'm sad. I want to change. Yeah. So in order to transform yourself, you need to accept that I'm going to choose this new path that I want, and I'm going to stop living in the past. And that's what I do. I operate out of my imagination, and I could have never imagined myself to reach out to strangers to go and find an answer. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I found a solution and a tool.
There you go. Let's talk about choosing. You talked about choosing the right path, the right people that can help you. As you know, especially right now in the Lean, Salem, and many states, people are making the wrong choices of how to cope with their emotions, their feelings, drugs, they're drinking alcohol. Talk about that a little bit. Was that something that you attempted to do in order to, deal with that pain, and how did you get away from it?
Well, early on, see, my problem was anger. I was very angry. I was very sad. I was very explosive. I couldn't manage my energy, and that's what it was. It was the energy that I got from the memory flashes of my brother passing and my abandonment. I would be very, very sensitive, and I would hold it inside until I blow up. I would just explode. Yeah. And the thing is, there's a lot of people out there that go through this process, and I was getting anxiety. I was getting panic attacks while I'm in class. I would walk right out of class, and I would just walk. I'd leave school. And teachers they'll be just baffled, like, did this young man just walk out of my class? Was it disrespect? That's disrespect. And in their lens, they're looking at it as it's disrespectful. But for me, I'm having a panic attack because something sparked that in class, and I would just remove myself from the situation, which was not a good thing. 'Cause I should have been talking about it, and that's when you start to raise the red flags is when you start to really start doing abnormal behaviors. You start to really have anxiety attacks. You start to go out and you explode. You can't handle yourself. And for me, personally, like I said, I go back with my mentors. Like, they never gave up on me. They're like, Brian, why are you walking out of class? That's how I was discovered. Like, what's going on, Brian? And that's when moments where I broke down. I broke down to complete strangers. I just took a chance. I took a risk, and I was able to really, get on the path I am today because I took that risk.
Yeah. This is a great moment for us on the DrStem show because one of the messages that I've been trying to relay to parents, to teachers, is that, there's some things that are myths that have been practiced for a long time. Men cannot cry, and you can't cry because you're a boy or a man. And Brian is sharing with us that, I had to break down. I had to talk to someone. I had to cry about it and say, I'm hurting. And what a key point and poignant point that he's sharing with us today. It's also a lesson for the teachers out there. You have a kid that is walking out of class, like he said, you feel like, I'm being disrespected. The way that you're going to react to that young man or young woman will make a difference that will bring them as a celebrity one day here on the DrStem show to talk about that day that their life turned around because you cared and you understood that there is more to this young man or young woman, being so disrespectful, walking out of my classroom, being so angry, that there's something about it that I need to be there or to give them to somebody that can talk to them about it. So thank you for sharing, that point as well. And you know what? If you didn't know, he is a motivational speaker. Can you hear the way that he's speaking? Tell us about how did you get to be a speaker?
Oh my. It was amazing. The motivational speaking situation was amazing because I started off. Peter Holy, he's actually he was one of our head coaches at Learn English. Okay. He asked me to come speak at a banquet because he was one of my high mentors in my life. That he saw me from the beginning, and then he saw the end result, and he was just very proud of me. He's always supported me, and he asked me to come speak at a banquet, and I was like, come speak at a banquet. I said, right when he asked me, I was like, no problem. I said, okay. And then after, I was like, wow, did I just say yes to this? I was like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? And I prepared this big write-up, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about, like how to be motivated and all these different things that I really wasn't organized. But when I went, I just naturally I went up and I just told my story, and I expressed myself I talked about my journey, because I am a statistic. I am a statistic of someone who was supposed to fail. I wasn't supposed to be where I'm at, and that was the major point I made. And for all the people who were in that room that day, the kids who were okay, you know, I am in these situations. I can relate. And that's what it was. I could relate to a lot of those athletes because I'm an athlete myself. So I went through the Lynn English football program, and I learned a lot about myself through all my life situations in football. And I was able to really just, you know, transfer that skill when I first started and I realized that's a craft of mine now.
Yeah.
So after that banquet, I went upon myself in college. I said, okay, let's take it a step forward. I made a goal, and that's what's important. I started to really prioritize what it meant to create a goal and what it meant to execute the goal. I took a public speaking class, one of the most fascinating classes I ever got to be a part of. I still have the book. I still read the books that I got in that class. I still go over some of the earlier work I've actually been able to produce through the class.
Oh, wow. Another moment. Sorry to cut you off, but you know what? This is so exciting. I wish we had the whole day to talk to Brian. Now you see why I called him a celebrity. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I am not the only one that will have an opportunity to meet with Brian Castellanos. If you live in the Massachusetts area, the luck is all yours. You can actually go and meet him at our local I Hope, because he just told me during break that he goes there every Sunday at I Hope in Salem, Massachusetts. So if you live in the Salem, Mass, you're in luck. If he's not there for that Sunday, don't give up hope, you know, because then he's coming back another Sunday. But we're talking to Brian, who's sharing with us his life story and how he has been able to be a success. Before I get back to talking to Brian, I just want to give thanks to one of our sponsors today, who gave us the jewelry that I'm wearing today. This comes from, what was that, Cookie Lee?
Cookie Lee.
I see, he even knows it too. It's Cookie Lee. So thanks to Phyllis Menchner, who is a rep for Cookie Lee Jewelry. We have the link at the bottom of the screen for you to check out some of the jewelry that they have. So thanks to you guys, you have been our sponsor for today's show. Brian, what an exciting life that you have.
Well, very exciting.
Very exciting. I'm excited for where you're going. What are the plans for the next 5-10 years with your speaking, your career? What are you doing?
Well, currently, I'm actually working to really generate more motivational speaking opportunities,
Yes.
School assemblies. I do private consultations. Literally, if you want, I'll talk to anybody. If you ever want a game plan, that's what I do. I help people strategically plan out what they want to do. No matter what profession you're in, you need a game plan.
Yes.
And before you get the game plan, you need to have that. You need to get that spark, and that's what I'm able to provide. You know, I can give people the insight,
Yes.
and that's what I do. Whenever I go into anything, basically my whole game plan is I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to be a winner. I need to find a way to win, and that's what's going to happen because I make sure no matter what, I won't stop. There's 24 hours in a day. There's some kind of solution I will find, and there's no way I can be stopped. And, you know, that's how I feel. I feel that way every day.
What I love about you is, you know what, seeing and hearing your story today tells me that, guess what, everyone is a winner. All the students out there that think, you know what, I'm from a neighborhood that nobody ever goes to school, nobody ever wins. You're telling me that you're the first generation in your family to go to college. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So that means it's possible for all of those that are out there. Talk to me about the role of confidence and fear.
Okay. Well, to start off, everyone's on a divine mission. Everyone has a certain thing they're supposed to do in life. You're not just supposed to go to work, a job you don't like, and come home and crack open a beer. No. I believe there's more to life than that. I feel, fear has a major. Fear is a disease. It pollutes people's dreams, goals, and it prevents people from reaching their full potential and their goals in life. And to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Understand this. Les Brown, he's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. Imagine you on your deathbed, and on your deathbed are the ghosts of the potential, the ideas that you never brought to light. And they're sitting around you, around your deathbed, and they're disappointed, sad, and they're telling you, we came to you, and you never brought us to light. So now we have to go to the grave with you. Yeah. together. So I ask you, what are you gonna do? How many ghosts do you want to have around your bed when you're about to go? And that's what it means. You gotta take risks. You gotta go out there and give it everything you got. And it's possible. You gotta tell yourself it's possible. The key word is it's possible, because you gotta keep in mind that, you know, if someone else can do it, you could do it. You gotta just apply. You gotta have your faith, and you gotta maintain a positive attitude, and you just gotta go out and go get it done. If you want to be a successful business person, go learn about different ways to make money. There's books on everything. And that's something I've been able to do. I took advantage of literature. I've been able to really digest literature to learn to be a better person. I want to be a motivational speaker. I go on, I research other motivational speakers, I read books, I learn about how to market yourself, and it's all strategically planning how to get there, because you need to pay the price. So you need to separate yourself. And what I do is I work on myself every day. Every day, whether it's the morning, night, middle of the day, I will be working on myself to get to that goal. Yeah. And you mentioned preparation earlier on, just a second ago. My preparation and execution is what I get out of an education. Yeah. It really teaches you how to really develop a tactic to prepare, and then it teaches you to execute whatever you just basically prepared for. So whenever I'm asked, like, what makes you different from having your bachelor's degree? When I was in my bachelor's program, I applied every amount of effort into every assignment, every task I ever had, I executed. You're talking to a kid who had like a 2.8 GPA. I graduated with a 3.7. Wow. I maintained 4 leadership roles on campus. I was the president of the criminology club, treasurer of the sociology club, VP of the psych club, and I was a peer health educator for Bacchus Network, which that Bacchus Network program taught me how to implement self-awareness programs. It taught me to really, go out there and just be a voice, not just to be a bystander, but really to be a part of this big circle of life, to really get involved and help people.
I know I'm not the only one that wanted him to go on and on and on and on. Brian, you are a pride and joy for all of us that live in the Lynn area, in Massachusetts, and mostly for the teachers, and the principals for Lynn English that can see you today and say, you know what, that's one of our own. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for who you are and the hard work that you have put in yourself. May that take you to places that you have never even dreamt of, because you are a true success and a celebrity. Thank you for gracing us with your presence on the DrStem show today. Thank you so much. One word of advice before we leave?
Yeah, I have one word of advice. I do. Actually, this is actually someone that he trickled it down to me. He's Larry Glenn. He's of Pierre DeLon. He's actually, I'm a scholarship recipient, and I'm on the board. Yes. And he's always told me to stay focused and slow down. Always slow down and take a look at what's going on. Yeah. You need to really be patient and engage in each of your goals one at a time, but at the same time, you need to be aware of where you're headed. Don't worry about the journey. The answers are gonna be answered along the way. The questions and answers, it's all gonna add up. And he's really taught me a lot. And the Pierre DeLon Foundation has been a very helpful tool for me, because they help actually provide a scholarship assistance for me.
Definitely will have to bring you back, because I'm about to just get cut off by my administrator. So thank you for that, and we will bring you back to talk more. Thank you, and thank you for watching the DrStem show.
Thank you for listening to the DrStem Show. Have a terrific week.